What's up, guys? Brian back to talk about the Walking Dead News comicbook.com article. Robert Kirkman wants to change the Walking Dead comics for TV. Some people think it's Scott Gimple, but it looks like to be that's Robert Kirkman. In the article, it's pretty good. We'll talk about some spoilers from the comic books that may or may not occur. But it looks to be that Kirkman wants to kind of change things up for the show a little bit too. So like I said, spoilers ahead. If you don't know some of this information, don't watch, stop watching. Here's the link. We'll put it in the description as well. Comicbook.com, The Walking Dead. Great article that we came across just today. It actually posted today. But the passionate and vocal fans of The Walking Dead will often let you know that they enjoy the TV show most when it follows the story originally told in the comic books. Those fans may be surprised to hear that rather than any showrunner on TV or TV writer, when those storylines are altered from the AMC adaptation, it's creator Robert Kirkman who wants to make the biggest changes. The Walking Dead showrunner Scott Gimple calls the TV series a remix of the comic books before explaining where the differences spawn. So it's Kirkman who does the changes. That's crazy. There's something we proved when I started on the show, and Robert Kirkman and I were sitting in the room, and I was a writer and producer, Gimple says. I was always wanting to hew as close to the comics as possible, and Robert was wanting to deviate to provide the readers with a new experience. Gimple tries to keep everyone happy with his style behind the scenes. So it's Kirkman that's trying to keep the show interesting and mix it up to provide some Easter eggs and some different things for the comic book things to keep it interesting. And I knew that before, but it's kind of interesting. As fans with knowledge of the books know, the show stays true to the comics in an overarching scheme, but tends to deviate with some major character moments, including killing off certain characters ahead of their comic book death or keeping them alive longer than the comics did. Some of the more notable swaps have been Tyrese's comic book death with the beheaded to Herschel, the white slaying of Abraham with an arrow targeting Denise instead. Kind of crazy. So that's kind of cool how they mix it up a little bit, but they ultimately get to the point where they need to with killing the characters and where they're at. So Herschel dies, and Tyrese was the comic book death as we saw in the comics versus the show. Over the years, I integrated with my own thinking. As long as we fulfill the spirit of the comic story, Gimple explains, we are looking to generate the same emotions that have a very direct interpretation of moments in the book, even if it's completely different, but still achieving the comic story. That's why I followed all these years, and at the end of season 6, it's very much in line with that. So what I see it is they mix up a couple of things here, maybe change a death, change a thing there too, but they ultimately get to the same point, major point in the comics where they're going. So that's where I see perhaps Kirkman sees the TV series as a do-over, a way to right what he seems as wrong. Perhaps keeping Shane alive longer than his comic book counterpart was one of the best decisions the show could have made, and keeping Abraham alive might be his way of further exploring the character beyond his issue 97 limits. The stakes have never been higher when it comes to delivering a satisfying story to the original fans heading into Season 7. The iconic moments will follow Negan stepping out of the RV will determine a lot of fans' loyalty going forward if things go their way. So there you go. We got a couple things here too. Morgan dies in the comics. He should have been dead a long time ago. Far different character on there too. What do you think of that? Do you like there too? If you like any of these, post below. If you don't, then also post below as well. Like, share, subscribe. But Carol has the biggest deviation because she was supposed to die in season 3. She died in the comics pretty early. Different character by far. She died by suicide, letting a walker bite her with the whole thing with Tyrese and this and that. But she's a far different character from that too. I still think she might do that down the road or whatever, but do you think Negan kills Spencer? I believe so. Maybe in the mid-season finale of Season 7. I think that's what we're hinting at from the spoilers and the kind of predictions going on forward there too. So that's Spencer getting gutted. Who's going to have the Holly death? The Holly death, we'll do a whole video about that, but that's Holly biting a character there that we won't talk about, anything there, but who's going to have that? Tara, Sasha, what? Who has the Holly death? What do you think about it too? Are they going to bring Lydia in there too? Does Lydia come around? Is Enid kind of the character? Enid's the Sophia kind of thing where she's not. So I don't know. We'll see. Do they bring Lydia around when they bring the Whisperers? Is that the big story arc for it? I could see that as well. As we know from the comics, Glenn gets the death. All Out War is amazing. Abraham is not in All Out War, but I don't think he will make it on the show as well. They're going to stick to the comic book where Glenn and Abraham do not go past the Negan lineup for that. So you're awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and let us know how it is.